Hello, my dear students. Today we will read a poem called Australia by A.D. Hope. In this poem, the poet talks about his country, the land, the people, the cities, and even the spirit of Australia. Let's go stanza by stanza and understand it in simple words. First stanza, let me give explanation for this. Here, the poet talks about Australia's land. The trees are dull, green, and grey, not bright and lively. The hills look like broken sphinx or old stones lion, giving a sense of age and emptiness. It feels serious, almost like a soldier's uniform in war. For an example, like a desert or dry forest where everything looks old and tired, not lively. Let's move on to the second stanza. Let me give explanation for this. People call Australia young, but that's not true. The poet compares it to an old woman, still tender on the outside, but barren inside. The land may look alive, but it cannot really give life. For an example, like a piece of land that looks fresh on maps but has poor soil and cannot grow crops. Let's move on to the third stanza. Let me give explanation for this. Poet says Australia has no songs, no monuments, no history. Even the rivers disappear into sand. The people seem dull and monotonous from Cairns to Perth. For an example, like a town with no schools, music, or festivals, empty and lifeless. Let's move on to the fourth stanza. Let me give explanation for this. The poet talks about the people. Their main goal is to survive, not truly live. They are tough but live in a harsh, dying land. For an example, like people in desert who just survive every day, not thriving. Let's move on to the fifth paragraph. Let me give explanation for this. Poet criticizes the cities, saying they drain the country like sores. Europeans live timidly and take from the land instead of giving back. For an example, like towns that take resources but don't give back, draining the land. Let me move on to the next stanza, that is sixth stanza. Let me give explanation for this. Poet says some people like him return to Australia from the busy modern world. They see the land as harsh but full of potential for something special. For an example, like someone leaving a busy city to return to their village, finding value in simplicity and challenge. Let me move on to the seventh stanza. Let me give explanation for this. Finally, the poet imagines a wild, strong spirit arising from this harsh land. The spirit is beyond modern doubts and chatter. Even from an empty land, something unique and powerful can emerge. For an example, like a strong creative person rising from a small or difficult town, standing out despite challenges. Conclusion. In short, poet shows Australia as harsh and empty. But even here, hope exists. From a barren land, a strong, unique spirit can emerge. What is the moral of the lesson, students? Even in harsh or barren environments, strength, originality, and new ideas can emerge. Look beyond appearances. Real potential is often hidden beneath the surface. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe, and tell me which chapter you want me to do next. Until then, bye.